And now, one last story time. I was going to save this for if Blondie showed up, but since he's not here, let's hear all about Banjo's dream.
Oh, God.
I woke up on
Let's
a
go get the
crisp
popcorn.
Christmas morning. There was snow on the ground. The sun was shining. I woke up my parents, brother, and grandfather. I went downstairs to see a pile of gifts. As I opened the first one, I noticed it was an N64.
Oh, God.
I was surprised seeing how it was 2012 and I was 7, when I considered myself too old for Nintendo? Huh. As you'll soon learn, I was wrong. About what? About being too old for Nintendo? With the N64, there were 3 games: Mario, Pokemon Stadium, and Banjo-Kazooie. My father stated that he used to play it all the time, his favorite being Banjo-Kazooie. He added, "I don't remember why I stopped playing it." Later on, I decided to play with my new game system. My brother beat me at Pokemon Stadium, and I beat the first Bowser in Mario. That's when I decided to play Banjo-Kazooie. There was a saved game, so I decided to start a new one. Once finishing the tutorial, I headed into the castle, soon beating Mumbo's Mountain. I headed into Treasure Trove Cove, I entered the sandcastle. My father walked in and looked at the screen and froze. "I remember," he said. I ignored him, as he is usually weird. He said, "Dream. Dream." He repeated it as he walked out. Maybe he's just fixated on Velveteen Dream. This made me want to put the password "dream" in the sandcastle. A grunty dialogue appeared. "Are you sure you want to do this? Because if you do, there will be no bliss." I selected yes, and the screen faded to white. When the screen faded back in, Banjo was standing in the middle of his room. Yeah, maybe it is Project Dream.
Project Dream.
Banjo was standing in the middle of his room. He had blood on his hands. The blood looked as if it was from another game. Later, I would find out it was Doom. Like original MS-DOS Doom, or Doom 64? I wondered what happened. I then walked Banjo out the door, noticing he had no backpack. When the screen faded back in, a giant grunty head popped out at me. The background was red, and the giant head was the only thing to be seen. She said, "A warned you, yes I did. Into your fate you have slid. Get to the end, ring the bell. But for now, I welcome you to 64-bit hell!"
And for that reason, I'm out.
What the hell am I listening to?
What the 64-bit hell are you listening to?
Ah, I get one.
She quickly disappeared. The game was silent, except for jumping sound effects. The screen was just red. Enemies appeared much like the skeletons, like in Ocarina of Time. But instead of doing his roll move, Banjo took the enemies by the neck and punched them to death. And I'm just imagining him going, "Ooh, ooh, 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 ooh," as he does it. More Doom 64 blood going everywhere. Okay, it was Doom 64. Once I defeated 6 enemies, the screen faded to black. The screen now showed Banjo sitting on a throne with a crown. Another dialogue popped up with Banjo saying, "They're holding me back. Without them, I could do this. I want this!" The screen went black again. You know what? Yeah, I do kind of want to see Banjo just beating the shit out of the skeleton. And yes, this pretty much is like Conker's Bad Fur Day. When the screen came back, it was the top of Grunty's tower, but the sky was red, and Grunty was on the ground crying, as Banjo stood there, laughing. I pressed attack, just for shits and giggles, and Banjo threw a Jinjo at her. After 6 Jinjos were thrown, the screen faded again. Noticing a pattern with the 6s, I wonder if this is going to lead to somewhere predictable. Now it showed an image of 6 Jinjos lying on the ground, most of them dead, others injured. It showed for about 6 seconds. Now Banjo was sitting on his throne again, this time with stacks of money. It didn't last long until fading to black. The opening scene, when you first see Banjo and Kazooie, it played like normal until Banjo got up. Instead of going on an adventure, he strangled Kazooie, saying, "Let me sleep!" It went to black again. Every major character in the game was now standing by a gravestone. It was Kazooie's. Banjo was there with his arms crossed. Why does she get all the attention, he thought. No one's questioning what Banjo did. Okay. I had no clue why he was so jealous. Before fading to black again, Banjo moved in a way which looked like he was going to kill Bottles. Banjo was on his throne. He was standing. He said, "I am the best, the greatest, the destroyer!" A bell appeared above him. After ringing it, the game reset. I chose the game file I originally made. Everything was normal. Later, I found a lost present on my floor, under the Christmas tree. It was a Game Shark. That night, I went to church confirmation. We talked about the 7 deadly sins. Think about it, then read it again. And with that, the Fearless Marathon is over.